Hello, and welcome to this video about the 4th floor of the Abomination Vaults. Similar to other videos in this series, we will be looking at a general overview of this floor, key encounters, side quests, and more. This floor is the final floor of the Adventure Path's first book, Ruins of Gauntlet. Some stories will be wrapped up here, but others are just about to begin. As with previous entries in this series, this video is filled to the brim with spoilers. If you are a player in an Abomination Vaults game, or plan to be in one soon, stop this video now and check if there's any chores around the house you could get done. That laundry will not fold itself. Well then, without further ado, let's get started. The 4th floor served as Belcora's personal retreat. And even though it is a small floor, it has some of the finest rooms in the entire dungeon. Ceilings here are between 10 and 15 feet high, and rooms are generally unlit. Any door that is left open for more than a minute is gently closed by ephemeral spirits lingering on this floor. The air is cool, and the smell of dust and faint spices wafts through the floor. The way further down to the 5th floor is blocked by a magical barrier, which can only be breached using relics of the Rose Guard. The Ghost of Otari in room 18 will share more information on that. Out of game, this is of course a nice way to hinder further progress in the transition between the first and the second book of the Adventure Path. Though other floors clearly have a dominant faction, this one has none. This is why we will skip the factions section that we've seen in other videos. The main encounter on this floor is Volik Azrene, apprentice to Belcora Horovex and now a worm that walks. Volik has succeeded in a ritual to turn himself into a writhing, slithering hive of worms that is vaguely drow-shaped. Relentlessly loyal to Belcora, he has been working tirelessly to continue her work and restore the Gauntlet. He's working together with the Void Glutton in room 20, but is frustrated that he has to use this middleman to reach out to his mistress. When the adventurers arrive in room 8, Volik will ask them who they are and what they are doing. He will not be swayed to stop his work, and rather fights to defeat any danger to his plans and, by extent, Belcora's. Volik is a formidable spellcaster with a wide selection of spells, including the AP-specific spell Worm's Repast. On top of that, he has physical resistance, swarm mind, and even fast healing. As a swarm, however, he is also weak to area and splash damage. His true Achilles heel, however, is his vanity and his self-loathing when confronted with an image of his old form. Volik has to succeed on a DC 28 will save when he starts his turn seeing a portrait of his previous form, and on a failure will be slowed 1 for a round. This is why emphasizing the importance of Volik's vanity is so important. The players being able to utilize the picture is key in this hard encounter. Among the loot in this room are also detailed blueprints of the first 3 floors of the vaults, including any secret rooms. This will help the party find any of these secret rooms, including the very hard to find room 35 on the 3rd floor. I mentioned the Void Glutton earlier. You are forgiven if you had not heard about it before, because the adventure sure didn't mention it earlier. The Void Glutton is a powerful wisp, and this one specifically works with the now ghostly Belcora to empower the Gauntlet once more. It now dwells in room 20, Belcora's former private chambers. The Void Glutton is a level 8 creature, meaning it will likely be 4 levels above the PCs. On top of that, it is a wisp, with all the fun immunities and mechanics that come with that. This encounter could very well kill a few PCs, if not even cause a TPK. Personally, my main issue is that the Void Glutton's presence is hardly communicated to the PCs and players. The werewolf Jarl Messman in room 14 could warn them, and if they encounter Volik first, he might vent his frustrations about having to work with this creature, potentially mentioning how powerful this entity is. I very much dislike PCs just stumbling into these kinds of deadly encounters without any warning, and would honestly understand any GM removing this encounter and Volik's rivalry with it entirely. The rooms in which the PCs would fight the Void Glutton offer some fantastic environmental storytelling, as they move past ghostly images of the things Belcora did here when she lived in these quarters. One little encounter I do like is in room 10. There used to be 3 Scalathrax here, but one of them was beamed into Otari during the Dead Tide. The other 2 await to be teleported as well, but of course, the adventurers can't prevent that. What I like about this encounter is that the PCs can use what they learned from fighting one Scalathrax earlier. They should also be at a higher level at this point, making it more manageable to fight 2 of them at the same time. The dining room in room 1 is a bit of environmental storytelling and another encounter with wisps. When the Rose Guard attacked, Belcora was hosting a dinner here with members of a now defunct thieves guild from Absalom. When the tide turned and it became clear the Rose Guard would breach the defenses, she removed herself from the dinner and had the representatives poisoned. Their bodies can be used by a quartet of corpse lights waiting in this room. The ghost of Otari Ilvashti continues to draw the adventurers' attention on this floor. Starting in room 16, the ghostly green light will spell out another message, then move through room 14, 17, and finally into room 18, where the PCs have their encounter with the actual ghost of this member of the Rose Guard. Otari provides the PCs with a lot of important information on the events of the past, the properties of the Gauntlet, and most importantly on how to break the barrier in room 12. This requires relics of the Rose Guard, 1 item from each member. Otari will grant the PCs his thieves' tools, which lie among his remains. The remaining relics can be found in the town of Otari, and their acquisition is the beginning of the 2nd book of this adventure path. Bringing all 4 items to the shrine to Nimbaloth in room 13 will destroy the barrier. Lasta Venkervale, bartender at the Rowdy Rockfish in Otari, was kidnapped a few months ago by Volik and ended up on this floor of the vaults. After being tortured by the Velstrek Volgrist, Volik and the Void Glutton moved him into the Gauntlet itself in room 9 to serve as an anchor for the light. If the PCs succeed in releasing Lasta from this torment and bring him back to Otari, Lasta's mother Brelda will be eternally grateful. The werewolf Jarl Mesman murdered multiple people in Otari 30 years ago, including Ayla Lathanar, the wife of Kilino Lathanar, owner of the Otari market. The PCs might have heard about him while in town, and here is their chance to meet him in the flesh. Jarl is paranoid, aggressive, and is very likely to attack the party. If they succeed in subduing him, he is willing to give them Ayla's necklace in exchange for his life. He can also provide more information on some rooms in the dungeon, including room 18 and 19. Gathering the relics of the Rose Guard is what will start Book 2 of this adventure path. It is good to review where each relic is, and be aware that Carmen Rajani will steal the cooperative blade before the PCs can acquire it. Carmen Rajani also plays an important role towards the end of Book 2, as the contract devil Euravian demands his soul in exchange for removing his infernal forces from the vault. In room 11, the party encounters the Velstrek Volgrist. She's grown listless and bored through the many years without anyone to torture, especially after her brief time with Lasta Venkervale. She is morose and passive, having no intention to fight the adventurers or talk with them. Volgrist has a +1 Ghost Touch whip. If the PCs can acquire it, they can compel the Velstrek Cratones on the 5th floor to cease her violence briefly. That's it for the 4th floor and the 1st book of the Abomination Vaults. I hope this video will help you run your party through it. If you enjoy this content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you have any remarks, feedback, or words of encouragement, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, stay safe, take care, and bye-bye.